Welcome to One Word Stories. My name is Joanna Zell, and I'm really, really happy to welcome you today to a very special episode with a very, very special guest, Michael Durueke, originally from Nigeria, very knowledgeable about Benin
Kingdom.
and right now based in Germany. A very warm welcome.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. And the honor belongs to me. I'm honored.
Thank you. I'm honored that you accepted my invitation.
It's my pleasure. What we do is teach people who are interested to know about us, about our traditional heritage, which is our pride.
Yeah.
So when we are called upon to do so, we do that without any bias and any confusion.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
Because actually what happened was that we had this conversation about the Benin bronzes.
Yes.
And it's not so much about talking about contemporary situation in the country, and also the corporate context, but really focusing much more on this particular theme. So the cultural heritage, the Benin Kingdom. We are talking about pieces of art that are mostly in British Museum in London, in the Humboldt Forum, in heart of Berlin,
Yes.
right? And actually they belong to the Kingdom of Benin, right?
Factual. All this, there is no how we can talk about the artifacts without talking about the people of Benin.
Yes.
Who are the Benin's? Is the first question we need to ask. The Benin people, also known as the Edo people, are the people that comes from a southern part of Nigeria, the present-day Nigeria. They are known for their exceptional skills in artistry. This is not just an ordinary artistry, dated back to the 13th century. The most important thing here is the technology they adopted, dated as old as 13th century, to be able to create wonderful artifacts from bronzes on brass. This is a combination of copper material also. They were able to create wonderful and renowned artifacts that are still there till today. They have survived test of time because of the originality of these things. This, like I said before, is not just an ordinary artifact. They are cultural heritage of a particular people, the people of the Benin. This kingdom is so proud of their great crafts and craftsmanship in the 13th century. Dating back 1200th century, the Benin people were the most developed West African kingdom. Their cultural heritage was so rich. Their military, we call them warriors, they were so great that they were able to stand the British head to head when they came for the invasion. This happened 1892. So at the success of their invasion, they annexed Benin Kingdom into a British Empire.
Exactly.
After destruction of the whole Benin Kingdom, they went ahead, looted all the valuable artifacts. And these artifacts are created to decorate the palace of the king of Benin. It includes the chiefs in Benin Kingdom. It includes the queens, the previous kings of Benin. It was created so that the people of Benin could have a first-hand information, connection from their ancestors, so that they can be aware of who they are, how they got where they are. But all these things were stolen from them when all these materials were moved away from their land, far beyond British. The confusion we are experiencing today started long time ago because it's deprived the African people the Benin people, Nigerian people, to be able to learn from these artifacts, to be able to learn, one, the cultural heritage, two, the composition of these artifacts, because they were made from some craft on artistry that present day Benin people do not have. They lost it when all these things were taken from them.
Yeah.
So, having said that, it's a major topic in the whole world at the moment. If these bronzes and brass made sculptures will be actually returned to the Benin people, is it going to be politicized? Is it going to be a kind of realistic at the end of the day that they also will be a part, share a part in being a witness to these objects? They are very educational objects, and the people have never been a part of it.
Yeah.
It's theirs, and they should have a fair access to this object.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for emphasizing something that sounds kind of like a world of obviousness.
Yes.
And is not due to the colonial history.
Exactly.
And there are a couple of, not couple, but a number of artifacts are in Nigeria, spread around the country. Yeah. And still, the majority is currently in the British Museum, yes, and in the Humboldt Forum in Berlin.
Okay.
What is really interesting is that both cultural institutions, both really very renowned collections, right, deal with the theme slightly differently. So Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie,
Yes,
who is the one of the most amazing storytellers worldwide. She had a fantastic speech at the Humboldt Forum in Berlin. And she emphasized actually one very important aspect, that one of the argument was actually that the people cannot take care of them in Benin. And what is happening currently is actually just showing the opposite. And yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I want to make some comments about this. These artifacts, I call them the BBB.
Okay.
That means the Benin bronze on brass. Because these objects are produced specific, not gold, not another material, but bronze, which has preserved it for a very long time now. The argument of bringing these things back to Nigeria has been there.
Yeah.
It has been in contest. The fact is, we Nigerians, we have started a lot of progressive steps towards recapturing this.
Yeah.
Students from the Cambridge University, where one of these artifacts are held in their museum. Precisely, I think that is the head of first king of Benin Kingdom, King Eweka. His bronze artifact is still in Cambridge.
Yeah.
Nigerian students went and made some artworks, giving it to the Cambridge in exchange,
yeah,
to this,
yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah.
That is to tell you how passionate they
Yes.
are getting it back. Okay. Another contest is, if these artifacts are returned to Nigeria, how useful, how good will it be for the Nigerian people? Do they have a place to house these things? Is there any modern facility that will preserve these artifacts when they are returned to Nigeria? That is a big deceit, because in Nigeria now, the present museum that is being built in Nigeria right now, as I'm talking to you, is so modern.
Yeah.
And when you see the plan of this museum, at the end of this building construction, it will house the latest technological features, equipment, air conditioning facility, proper protection, safety, security. It will preserve this there in Nigeria. It can also open doors for the people of the people who took it before now, who are planning to return it, to also come and visit there and see to themselves if they are being taken good care of or not. There is one thing I want to point out here. The site of this new museum that is being built in Nigeria is exactly on the site where this village was destroyed historically. And the British are telling the archaeologists who are coming there to do the digging, they said whatever that is found there stays there. So there is no more need to bring from British back to Nigeria, which Nigerians and the Federal Ministry of Arts and Culture, Nigeria, is still contesting till today. There is a high need of these things back in Nigeria. We have the facilities, modern facility. And another thing is, if they are so worried where these things are going to be, they should support the Adoni Museum to be able to fix up this place and make it renowned, a world-class place, because it's going to take a lot of cash to bring it to that extent. But he has done a very beautiful job so far in the designs. It's very magnificent. When you see the edifice, it's so wonderful. And I pride in it as a Nigerian, having dived before previously into this very topic. As a Nigerian, I pride myself in the fact that we are erected. We have museums in Nigeria, but this is world class.
Exactly.
It's going to house, the intention of this museum is to house every deported artifacts all over the world. I have to emphasize on this, that it's not only in the British Museum.
Exactly.
We have some artifacts in Berlin, like you said. Some which the German government claim to have returned. But their body language, and there is no transparency to show that, okay, we took or we got so number of artifacts from the British, from wherever they got it from, because at the first place, Germany never attacked the Benin Kingdom. The attack came from British. The looting was done by the British soldiers. So having these artifacts in German museum translates something else.
Exactly.
And okay, you have anything?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's just that what I see is that the Humboldt Forum in Berlin still deals with this repatriation discussion and discourse much differently than the British Museum.
Yes.
British Museum, let's put it in the diplomatic way, is very negotiating, right? Whereas in Berlin, it's much more transparency, as I see it at the moment. So they have said, okay, we can bring part of the collection back to Benin and really display it over there. There are discussions which artifacts will be moved, and still there will be many artifacts that will remain on loan in Berlin. However, it means that, remain on loan, which means that actually the state government will pay money to Benin that it's possible to display them. So what I wanted to emphasize was exactly what you have just said, that there will be this world-class museum built over there, right? And it was designed by David Adjaye
Associates,
and also Adjaye Associates.
exactly.
So his office, his architecture office. And what is so important about this, that they have this proficiency in building really impactful museum collections, not collections, but they've got the proficiency in building museums that deal with colonial history or slavery, and so on and so forth. So, for example, Adjaye and Associates has built the Museum of African History in Washington, D.C.,
Exactly,
right?
in
So
America.
the architecture is very, very impactful.
Wonderful.
Exactly the same right now in Benin.
He is replicating exactly what he did in Washington, in Benin, Edo State.
Exactly. The architecture is much different.
Yes.
By the way, I saw the design and also the model at the Biennale Architecture in Venice 2023, and it's simply amazing.
It's very wonderful.
It's very visionary.
It's very...
And it will be part of the landscape, and yes.
Coming to that, like I said before, I pride in this knowledge of the reality of having a world-class museum situated in the heart of Edo State where this crime was committed. That will go a long way in restituting the pains the Edo people have been facing, the deprivation in learning from their ancestors and their cultural heritage. This museum is so great that it is involved. It will involve or accommodate every cultural, traditional heritage that was lost during the colonial era. It's not only the Benin that lost their valuables to the British. There are other tribes that were also victims of this looting. This museum is going to accommodate every deported artifact in West Africa. It's not only for Nigerians. Like the name goes, Edo West African Museum. So it's passionate for me. Sometimes I go emotional because it's a great achievement. By the time the whole museum is completed, and all the facilities are fitted, we would like to invite the British and German people to come and see how beautiful, how the Nigerian architectural impact can be able to house this artifact and keep them preserved as long as it could take to preserve them.
You know, when I listen to you, I immediately need to think about also one more very important dynamics, that it's so much about the venue, it's so much about the place, because the fact that the Museum of West Africa Art is exactly on the same land where the kingdom used to blossom, it's very impactful. It's the spirit of the ground of So what does it actually mean for the people, especially the younger generation currently in your country, that, you know, even if part of the Benin bronzes and other artifacts return to the museum, what is the meaning for the younger generation?
Thank you very much. Your question is so simple and direct. It means a lot to these people. One, it's a cultural heritage of a particular people. That is their culture. That is their history. They need to know who they are. For instance, these artifacts, all of them are named. They have names. The head of the Queen Mother is there. The Queen Mother has a generation that is still there till today. They do not know how, who was that, because the purpose of the creation of this artifact has been defeated because it was taken away. They need to know. There is this question. Okay, the chiefs of the Benin Kingdom, the people who worked with the Oba as at this time, were all engraved in copper, covered with brass and bronze. All these things depict a particular thing to these people. And the deprivation is so much that at this time, they've lost their roots, they've lost their history. Everything that is connected to them, connects them with their ancestors, are gone. And culture is a way of a particular people. They need to know. They want to have these things back so that they can have this connection with their ancestors. Secondly, there is Benin is a ritual. They have a lot of traditions that includes ritual on some sacrifices. All these artifacts had some sacrifices done on them as a tradition. On this sacrifice has stopped because it cannot be carried out again because of the absence of these artifacts. And there are some implications to this because it's their belief. It works for them. So when it's not returned, these rituals cannot continue and the culture dies from there. Secondly, it will give the last seal to the reconciliation and restitution process. They will have the confidence that yes, these people, we are really sorry for what they did to us. They will have that in their mind. And thirdly, it will create an opportunity for Nigerian students who are into arts and culture to be able to have a learning aid they can see. As you can understand, theoretically it may be possible, but practically it could be impossible. In this case, they want to practically make it possible. Look at things they have had before, their ancestors did. It's a pride for them. It also will create a kind of source of revenue for the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture in Nigeria. When the tourist hub is expanded, when the museum is finished and all these artifacts are returned, it's a very attractive thing to tourists. They will be trooping into Nigeria to see the real museum and the real artifacts, bronze, brass, Benin bronze, brass artifacts. So it's very, very unique and very important to the people, not only to the Beninese, to the entire country.
Maybe even beyond, because it's so much about reconciliation, right?
Yes.
And acknowledging that it's the highest time to to start the process of just mending the injustice.
Exactly.
Very last question.
Okay.
By the way, apropos reconciliation, right?
Yeah.
My podcast name is One Word Stories, and I keep asking all my guests, what was the one story that was helpful for you, particularly in a difficult time?
Okay. It's a hard question, but the story that is very uplifting for me in my difficult time.
One word.
One word.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Consistency.
It has gotten me here. I never gave up. I kept pushing. Consistency, the word.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you very, very much,
It's
Michael.
my
Especially when I can relate also, what is your job in Germany right now. Yeah, you haven't given up. It's also about consistency.
Yes.
You used to work as a teacher.
Yeah.
And you were also, very much diving deep in history, in social sciences. And right now in Germany, this journey goes on to a certain extent, right?
Very, very hopeful.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to impact. That is my aim. Impact.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
All the
having
best
me.
for you.